we are in the QBO gym, and this is where we have numerous hands-on exercises that simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Each month covers a variety of new topics and scenarios, and to make it a little bit easier for you each month, we break it down into 4 different sections. So if you are a bookkeeper and looking to work on your bookkeeping skills, this is the place for you. And if you'd like to do an entire month's worth of these all on your own, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. But let's get into today's exercise, which is being pulled from our July Year 1 warm-ups section. At the top here is an animated video to give you a synopsis of what is going on in Craig's world this month. He is our fictitious business owner. Further down is an interactive pre-assessment quiz. It relates to the video up above. Below that are the exercises in this section. And at the bottom here is an optional area where after you have gone through all of the posts, or excuse me, all of the exercises in this section, you will unlock some sample marketing posts that you can use on your LinkedIn to share with everyone what you have learned so far. So let's dive into today's exercise where we are going to practice receiving payments. Go ahead and click on that link to get the exercise pulled up for you. I have it here on the right side of my screen, so let's read through the scenario. Craig received 3 checks since you last visited. You will need to apply them to their outstanding invoices. Click the link beneath the warm-ups video to grab a copy of the checks. You'll need them for this exercise. So if you scroll back up to the top here in the gym, here's that animated video. Below that are a couple of buttons. The one that we are looking for is the one that says checks. Go ahead and click on that to download that PDF. Once you open it, this is what it will look like. You will see these are the 3 checks that we are going to receive payment from today. Now, you will need to be in the sample company to do this exercise. If you are not sure how to get into the sample company or get your own free QBOA account, be sure to click on the link in the description. I have the sample company pulled up here on the left side of my screen. Once you sign in, this is the dashboard and what it will look like. Now, as a note here, you need to complete all exercises in this section as well as the next section in the same session of the sample company. They all build on each other, so you have to start with this one and then continue on for the next 9 exercises in that same session. But let's go ahead and get started with the exercise. The first one we're going to start with is the payment from Freeman Sporting Goods. It's check number 4027 for $477.50. So let's go ahead and start receiving payment. We're going to click on the plus new button and then select receive payment. If I go back to the sample company here, the plus new button is on the top left corner of the screen. Click on that. And then under customers, select receive payment. Now, if I go into the customer field here, you will notice that there are 3 different locations for Freeman Sporting Goods. So how do you know which one is the correct one? It doesn't specify which location it is. So let's go ahead and start with the first one and see where we go from there. So in that customer field, we're going to select Freeman Sporting Goods. Go ahead and click on that. And you will notice that as soon as you do, there is an error message because there are no invoices for the parent company or the one that we had just clicked on. Here is that error message that we are seeing right here. So we need to go about this a little bit of a different way. Let's go ahead and get out of this by clicking on the X on the top right of the screen. So go ahead and click that X, and then we're going to go ahead and leave without saving. All right, so let's look at this a different way. From the left navigation bar, we're going to hover over sales and then select customers. So here is that left navigation bar. Hover over sales, and then you want to select customers. Go ahead and do that. We're going to scroll down until we find Freeman Sporting Goods and then click on it. So we're going to click on the top one, the first one right here. Go ahead and click on it so that we get that customer profile to appear. Now, the resulting transaction list displays all the transactions for Freeman Sporting Goods, including the sub-companies or the other locations. We want to narrow this down to just open invoices. Note that you may have some pop-ups that you need to click out of, like this one right here. If you get this, just go ahead and click out of them. It's just extra information that QBO is trying to provide to you. So here are all of the transactions. As you can see, it's a lot to kind of go through here. So let's narrow this down so that we only see the invoices. In the type field, we're going to click on the down arrow and then select invoices. So here's the type field, click into that, and then we want to select invoices so that now the only thing that we are seeing are, in fact, the invoices. In the status field, we want to click the down arrow next to all so that we can click then on open because we're only looking for the ones that have not been paid yet. So if you go to this status field, just click into it and then select open. And now we have narrowed it down even further to only the open invoices. From here, you can see that there are 3 outstanding invoices, 2 from Freeman's Twin Lane location. You can see these 2 right here, and then 1 for Freeman's Ocean View Road location. The check that we received was for $477.50, so it clearly applies to the last one right here. But what about the other 2? You ask Craig about this, and he asks you to send them a reminder. So you'll do that after you process the payment. So let's go ahead and receive payment for this one here, that Ocean View Road location invoice. Go ahead and select receive payment. Now, most of the information has already been filled in for you. You can see all of this here has been filled in. So all we need to do is update the payment field and reference number. So in the payment method field, we want to select check, click that down arrow in the payment method field, select check. And then in the reference number field, we want to type 4027 since that is the check number. So click into the reference number field, type 4027. Now the checks are being deposited to undeposited funds so that Craig can deposit them later, so we can leave this as is. So this one right here, rather than saying deposit to the checking account, until the check has physically made its way into the bank, we do this as undeposited funds. It's a holding account, and then once it actually does in real life physically make its way to the bank, then you will create a bank deposit transaction, something outside of the scope of this exercise, but that's the next step in it, and then it would be in that checking account. That's why it's really important to have this deposit to in the undeposited funds account until it actually physically makes its way into the bank. And as another note here, this payment date here is going to default to today. We are not going to do anything here with it, but just keep in mind in real life that you want this payment date to match whatever date is going to be here on the check. All right, so we are all good here. This is showing the amount that was received, which is exactly what is matching here on the check. So we can go ahead and click on the green Save and Close button. That is down here on the bottom right corner of the sample company. Click on that. And now that payment has been received. So if you remember, Craig had asked you to send reminders to Freeman for the overdue invoices from the other location. So this is really easy to do. All we want to do is click on the checkbox next to date to select all of the ones. So if I scroll over here, if you click this checkbox next to date, it will select both of the remaining invoices. If you click on the down arrow next to batch actions, then you can select send reminder. So click, here's that batch actions, click on that arrow, and then you would select send reminder, and the email for the reminder would be sent. So that is it for Freeman Sporting Goods. So let's move on to the next check. Next, we're going to process the check for Red Rock Diner for $156. That is the second check here on this file. So the first step is always to locate the invoice that the payment applies to. As you have seen, there are a number of ways that you can find it. You could use the plus new button like we did in step 1, or the customer list like you did in step 4 for Freeman Sporting Goods. This time we're going to use the invoices list. So let's go ahead and click on invoices. That is right here at the top. Go ahead and click on that. Now you're only going to see all of the invoices here, the ones that are open and also have been paid. So at this point, you could filter the list like you did for customers, or just scroll through to find Red Rock Diner. This time, we're going to sort the list by customer. Since Red Rock Diner is near the end of the alphabet, you'll want to sort it in reverse alphabetical order. So we're going to click on customer to put the list in alphabetical order A to Z. And then again, we're going to click it to do it in reverse order. So click on customer right here. And you can see currently it is in A through Z. Click on it one more time so that now we're starting from the end of the alphabet going all the way down. We want to scroll down to find Red Rock Diner. So let's scroll down to find them. It looks like there are 2 invoices right here. Now the check that we received was for $156, so it clearly matches this first one that is listed. The second one is not due yet, so we're not going to worry about sending a reminder for this one. So on this line right here for the $156 invoice, we're going to click on Receive Payment. So once you find it, go ahead and click on Receive Payment. Now, as before, most of the information has already been filled in for us, and the correct invoice of the 2 have been selected. So you can see that these are the 2 outstanding invoices with Red Rock Diner. It is currently selecting this one, which is the correct one for $156. So we just need to make a few adjustments here. In the payment method field, we're going to select check. So click that down arrow, go ahead and select check. And then in the reference number field, we're going to type the check number found right here. So it's 32,981. So click into that field, 32,981. Once again, we're going to leave this depositing to undeposited funds, and we're going to leave the payment date as is. Of course, in real life, that needs to match the date of the check. So there is one more check that we need to process here. So we're going to click on the Save and New option. This is all good. It's showing the payment for 156, which is matching the open balance. So we're going to click on the down arrow next to Save and Close and then select Save and New. So click on that down arrow, then select Save and New. And then we have another there it is. Now we have a brand new empty receive payment transaction here. So finally, we're going to process the check from Mark Cho. We have this very last one here for $318.28. So in the customer field, let's go ahead and select Mark Cho. You can go ahead and click on the down arrow and either scroll to his name or you can start typing it in the field. Once you find it, go ahead and select it. In the payment method field, we're going to select check. So click that down arrow and then select check. We are going to need to put in the reference number field the check number, which is 01059. So go ahead and type that in there. Again, this is being deposited into the undeposited funds account until Craig has a chance to physically make the check or deposit the check into the bank. Now you'll notice that there is only one outstanding invoice right here, but Mark accidentally wrote the check for $318.28. That's $4 more than he actually owes. So you contact Mark to find out how he wants to handle this. You could deposit it and send him a refund, or you can tear up the check and have him send another one, or just apply a credit to his account. Mark says that he plans to buy more in the future, so just go ahead and apply it as a credit. Luckily, this is super easy to do. So in the amount field or amount received field, we want to type $318.28 because that is what is matching here on the check itself. So click into it, type 318.28. When you hit the tab key over, the payment will automatically be applied here to this invoice and a credit is going to be created. So here it says the amount that is applied because that's how much was received from the check, and then the amount that is credited, that $4. So even though this is different than what is the amount that he actually received, this is the amount that actually is due to match the open balance. And so now we have a credit of $4 extra. So we are all good here. We can just click on the down arrow next to Save and New and then select Save and Close. That's on the bottom right corner of the screen. Click that down arrow, select Save and Close. And now that received payment has been saved. And that's it. That is how you would receive payments. Now, if you like this exercise and you'd like to do more like it, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. We move through the warm-up section, and if you would like to continue on, be sure to leave this session of the sample company open, as you will need it for the next exercise where we practice making a market sales journal entry. And I will see you in the next video.